Well, walk me through this too. So this has been part of your life since that day, 1984. It's been 34 years, 32 years now, a long time. What has this done to your life?
As you can see, I'm doing good again because I went back to work, same thing, oil field kind of stuff, only as building large oil field equipment instead of servicing it. And again, made good money, good life, bought a house, everything. But there's always some people out there that come up to you and say, are you the guy from... And back then I used to be big into bodybuilding. So I was like 18.5-inch arms and a 30-inch waist and a 52-inch chest, you know. So nobody actually even gave me any trouble even in the jailhouse, except the police. I got in trouble with them once and they threw me in jail, in the hole for like 30 days. Yep, that was it. That was the only trouble that I had as far as that. But that was just because I looked like I did. And I don't know, I asked myself and beat my head against the wall a trillion times probably by now, asking why, and that's why I want to find out who started it, and everything's coming back to the mother, the little girl, and Corey Taylor. We never knew this back then, but Corey Taylor, the social worker, had been friends with the mother since high school. And she didn't treat it as a normal case. A normal case, the mother would have went down to the sheriff's department, the first officer would come out and interview her, and things would get rolling from there, right?
Right.
Corey Taylor personally took the mother and the little girl down to the sheriff's department.
And so people who kind of just look at this, they see this and they say, they look at it all, we're like, well, did you do it?
Absolutely not. I never, like I tell my attorneys, don't you even have to meet somebody to molest them? I didn't know who that little girl was, never seen her before in my life until she testified against me at the first custody hearing, and she could not recognize anybody in the room, because as soon as she started falling apart and saying that, no, she wasn't scared of anybody in the courtroom, no, she didn't, my attorney right away asked those questions, you know, well, do you see anybody? Do you recognize anybody? And she looked around. No.
You were in the courtroom while she's testifying, right? She sits up there on the stand.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking? What goes through your mind when you're seeing her sit there?
I thought it was all over. As soon as that little girl said she didn't recognize anybody and my little girl testified to the truth, I said, where's your case at now? You know, I was looking over at the DA. They made sure about that. My little girl, when she testified to that, they actually pulled her off the stand. They said, well, it looks like you need a break. That's what the first thing that the judges here in Kern County do for the witnesses. It looks like you need a break when they're testifying to the truth. So they took her outside. Well, Corey Taylor, since she was going to be a witness in this thing, should have no contact with her, right? My sister was coming in to watch what was going to happen in the courtroom. She said she could hear a little kid crying and she recognized the voice. She said, that's Melissa. So she ran up to the thing and she looked in the little window, because in those doors they had little bitty windows like this. She looked in and Corey Taylor had her down on the ground, and she says Melissa was curled up in a fetal position with her hands over her ears, and Corey Taylor was going, you better tell the truth. You better say that your dad said something.